Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. What the hell's today? April 17th, August 17th. Well, I got to be careful. I don't want to get blacklisted from YouTube. So I got to be very careful now what I say. I have to say things properly. I can't say the wrong words. Don't want to get in trouble. And we're giving you what nobody else is giving you. Remember, the trend is your friend, and we're your friend. We're giving you information you can't find anywhere else: geopolitics, socioeconomics, AI, technocracy. We give you the trends analysis and trend forecast. We just don't put the stuff out there. And just to show you the stupidity of what's going on, this is from the toilet paper record, the arrogant toilet paper record. I love them. I don't hate them. I have to be very careful. They're wonderful toilet paper. It's wonderful to clean. Matter of fact, when the people were running to get toilet paper, when the COVID broke out, they could have used this toilet paper. Here's a front page story. She was Brazil's Barbie. She has some regrets. Then you go the whole next page, a whole page. You ready? Brazil's Barbie has some regrets over how she personified beauty. What the fuck am I? Oh, I gotta be careful. Why am I paying $4 in issue for this kind of comic book crap? This is kiddie shit. And I guess the toilet paper of record's good to wipe off kiddie shit. And then it's just one thing after here. This is big story here. Ready? Magoo. Here's Magoo. Mr. Magoo. See him? Magoo 50, rapper who collaborated with Timbaland, Missy Elliott, and Pharrell. And here's Ragoo like this, and the other guy's like this. That shows you the decline of America. No, guys, take it easy. I'm talking about when the blacks are at the top and you guys brought it down to the bottom. Oh, there was Count Basie Magoo. Yeah. There was Duke Ellington. Yeah. These cats set the stage. They were the height of the height. Woo! All the white cats wanted to be like them because they were so cool. And now it became one bad rap. And that's the decline of America. Socially, economically, politically. Oh, what's one of your covers of the recent Trends Journal about blimp-itis? Showing how low America's gone. Oh, and the person's white. Why, how dare I? I should have made him Mexican. Take it easy. Oh, I got to be careful. I was only joking. That was a joke. Anyway, we're giving you what nobody else is giving you. And now we're going to get into the markets. Today they were down again. And the headline story of today's Wall Street Journal, 10-year Treasury yield hits highest since 08. Oh, highest since 08? You mean the panic of 08? The name, the Gerald Celente, the domain name he took out in 2007? But of course, we won't have him on TV anymore. We don't like him because he won't swallow our crap. So, this is serious stuff what's going on. Remember, Trends Journal had forecast that the markets would go down late September and into October. So it's a little ahead of the curve, but it's showing you where it's going. If they keep interest rates up, this thing is going down hard and it's going down big. The United States economy is doing better than most of the world, but it's an artificial high and it's going to be coming down. Yep. Investors are wagering that the Fed may be done raising rates, but also further away from any cuts. And again, you see what the mortgage rates are now, they're over 7%. Over 7%. So people don't want to sell their homes because they can't afford to buy another one with such a high mortgage rate. So you got a shortage of supply. And that's what's keeping the prices up. And again, when everything was going down and the interest rates were going up, we said, no, there's not going to be a housing crisis. This isn't like the panic of '08 when they had all those fake subprime mortgages. Hey, you don't have a job? You're deep in debt? They just took your car because you couldn't pay the debt on that? You got a load of credit card debt? Don't worry about it. Sign over here. You could buy a house. Yeah. And then the bigs, the Blackstones, bought them all up as these other people went all broke when the panic of '08 hit. We are on the same course as that. And then oil prices are still up there. They're still around there, the $85 a barrel for Brent crude. Gold went down. The crypto party's over for a while. The juice has gone out of it. Where is it going to go? It got to go back above the $30,000 a Bitcoin for it to go higher. If it starts sinking, if it hits the 15,000 level, we're saying bye-bye. Going to go way down, Bitcoin. And gold, of course, is taking a hit because the dollar is getting strong. I mean, it's end of story. When they start lowering interest rates, gold prices are going to go up. And now they're saying they might not even lower interest rates. But gold prices are still going to go up because we're looking at the geopolitical situation, and it's rotten. Here. China struggles to halt economic slide. Yeah, no kidding. All in your Trends Journal. By the way, you subscribe to the Trends Journal by going to trendsjournal.com. Trendsjournal.com. It's the only magazine in the world that gives you history before it happens. This is old news to Trends Journal subscribers, and by the way, also subscribe to this channel so we get more of the message out there, because I'm a warrior for the Prince of Peace. I don't think they could blacklist me for that unless they hate peace, which is hated. China's home buyers wait out a slump. It's one article after another. This is important. China's expanding their farmland to cut foreign food reliance. And this is a quote from Xi. That Xi Jinping, the president, he said they have to take measures. They have to take hard measures that grow teeth to maintain 120 million hectares, blah, 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 of land. The country widely seen by Beijing as necessary, and this is the language of Financial Times, to secure self-sufficiency. Son of a gun. One of our top trends, self-sufficient governments. It's the end of globalization in a lot of ways. They're becoming more self-sufficient. You saw what happened with Russia. All those companies that exited when the United States and NATO put sanctions on them and told them to leave, now Russian companies are taking over the ones that the Westerns left. And again, I read in John F. Kennedy's speech to the graduating students at American University in 1963 that the Russian people, the Soviet Union, he said, these people are very intellectually, scientifically, culturally advanced. They don't need us. Self-sufficiency is a big trend. And every country, I believe, should become as self-sufficient as they can. But it's not going to happen in America because they only do deals with the bigs and they keep stealing our money to keep waging wars. We have all the natural and human resources we need to be a self-sustaining economy. What else? Oh, UBS to settle bond mis-selling case. Yep. Bond mis-selling. Isn't that, how's that for
bullshit?
Mis-selling. How about a dirty deal? Yep. There's a Financial Times article. UBS has agreed to pay $1.4 billion to resolve a U.S. regulation probe in the alleged mis-selling of residential mortgage bonds in the run-up to the 2008 financial crisis. They get a slap on their wrist, but it's prosecution to the fullest. We, the little people of Slavelandia. And then on and on. Here's what I'm telling you about the dirty deal. By the way, this is how we see all the lines and underlines in the article. This is trend forecasting. When you underline the salient points of the article and you make comments on it, you're remembering it. You're knowing more about it. So Wall Street gets key role in chip revival. $39 billion. Since the passage of the bipartisan crime syndicate's passage of a bill, Chips and Science last summer, the Commerce Department is quietly building a small team, you ready, of elite Wall Street financiers to help allocate $39 billion in taxpayer-funded manufacturing subsidies. They steal our money, and isn't that a nice word? How? Small team of elite Wall Street financiers. Elite. They're elite. They're Wall Street financiers. They're members of the club. It's the Wall Street gang. Got it? Or as George Carlin said, one big club and you ain't in it. I'm saying Mussolini called this fascism. The merger of state and corporate powers. They even mention in here, one of the guys they quote, he says, politics always takes over, said Gary Clyde Hatbauer, a non-resident senior fellow at the Peterson Institute for International Endowment, because this is who you have running the show. It's hate politicians. I can't say the word. Because they'll say it's hate speech. I love them. And that's why we have on the back of the shirt, so I could, without saying anything, I could tell them how I feel. So you get this by going to trendsjournal.com. Again, more of this information that you're getting, tons more in your Trends Journal. This week's over 170 pages, no ads. Oh, and by the way, you can listen to it too. And you could print it out. You print out the stories you want on the whole PDF. And you only read what you want. You don't have to read the whole thing. But we're giving you AI, Technocracy by the brilliant Joe Duran, the technocracy champ of the world. And Ben Davis in AI and high-tech science. This guy in high-tech science, Ben Davis, this guy was dealing with, on and on. He's been way ahead of it. Cold fusion. He was on the cold fusion days. That's how we met back in the 80s. So Ben Davis knows his stuff. And again, moving on to other articles. Can San Francisco avert a doom loop? All right. Big story here in the Wall Street Journal. A doom loop created by the doom bells. Yeah. We're locking down everything. Oh, and the high techs were the first to do it. We detail this over and over again. Can't go out. Again, we warned about this was going to happen. We warned about this was going to happen when they launched the COVID war. Gangs of people weren't going into places like Nordstrom and ripping out, all they can steal. This wasn't going on before that. You didn't have all these homeless. The homeless numbers are going way up. People doing drugs in front of your face. And then the politicians caused it as they went out partying. as they went out partying like the arrogant Gavin Newsom. Yes. And the mayor of Chicago, oh yeah, the mayor, she's gone. The mayor of San Francisco. They go out and dance and play. It's okay. They destroyed the place. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. And again, your details and why in the Trends Journal. What else? NATO will support Ukraine until it wins, said that arrogant little boy Stoltenberg. Hey, Gen Z boy, go over there and fight or shut your mouth. Anybody that supports the war, go over there and fight or zip it up. Don't want to hear it. And send your money, don't want mine. Speaking to Norwegian media, prostitutes, Stoltenberg said NATO's priority, quote, is to support Ukraine militarily, adding that, quote, if you want a lasting just peace, then military support for Ukraine is the way to get there. There is no doubt about it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Who the fuck would believe the shit spewing? I got to be careful. He's the head of the NATO guy. Thank God. Oh. Could you believe this crap? Could you believe this crap coming out of this? Yep. On and on and on. On and on and on. And speaking about no peace, I mean, this article. His assistant said that, his chief of staff said that the solution of the conflict could be for Ukraine to give up territory and get NATO membership in return. They made him retract that. He said he was sorry for saying it. He can't talk about peace. And they're not going to have NATO membership. There's an article in the New York Times, peace activists decide Ukraine is an exception. I'm a peace activist. I hold peace rallies. They didn't contact me. They contacted a guy that hasn't had to put up anything on his website in over a year. Yep. That's just one of the many rallies. Anyway, and then what's going on over there? Terrible what's happened in Maui. Here's an article here. Utility knew wildfire threat, but waited for years to act. We wrote about this in the Trends Journal when the same thing was happening in California. The utility companies, what the hell are they doing with power lines above the ground? Well, you should be burying these things. Look at the destruction that's been caused. And now they're going to wipe out the little people. And the bigs are going to take over more. It's the same thing in East Palestine. Here's a story in the New York Times. After a toxic train wreck, illness, exile, and debt. This is the America that could send, that was about $130 billion already to Ukraine and give chump change to the people in East Palestine, Ohio, and Maui, and the other city that's been wrecked. And there's this video of this guy, and he's really angry.
If they can freaking take care of Ukraine, yeah, $40 billion go to Ukraine. Fucking shit ain't coming to us. What the fuck? My tax-paying money for 60 fucking years don't mean shit. But they're gonna take care of Ukraine, 40 fucking billion. But nobody's still here to take care of us. We're suffering. All this shit we gotta do on our own.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, these politicians who you can't hate, you have to love them. He said 40 billion, and he only got the first number coming out when they voted that for, going a year ago almost. It's almost it's over 130 billion now. Pennies for the plantation workers of Slavelandia and everything they can for the bigs. Hey, the military-industrial complex is really reaping a lot of dough. Oh, Biden's going to go there on Monday. Yeah, how come he wasn't there day after it happened, a couple of days after it happened. We give them peanuts. This country's rotting in front of us. Missouri court upholds truancy law. I love this one. The Missouri Supreme Court on Tuesday upheld a law that allows parents to be jailed if their children don't attend school. The litigation centered on two single mothers in Lebanon, Missouri, who were sentenced to jail after their elementary school children each missed about 15 days of class in the 2021-2022 school year. In jail. Oh, UBS, they stole, but they only got fined $1.4 billion. These kids didn't go to school for 50. My mother and father, may they rest in peace, would both be in jail for all the days I cut out of school. I hated every day of school. I ran away from kindergarten at 4.5 years old and crossed the Boston Post Road. I went to PS 76. That's right. Born to be free, the spirit of 76, where I am right now. Anyway, they took me out because they know I'd be dead because they couldn't control me. I hated school. Think about it. I ran away from school when Miss Rose, the teacher, said, "Time to take a nap." And all the kids laid down and took a nap. And I just sat there. She said, "Gerald, time to take a nap." I'm taking a nap every day. I'm going out with my mother, my Aunt Cookie, may she rest in peace. Having a time of my life, tired, poof, go to sleep. So next day, time to take a nap. Boop, I laid down. As soon as Miss Rose turned around, poof, I was out of there. Think about it. That's the government school system. They tell you when it's time to take a nap. They tell you everything that you have to do. You obey them. You obey them. Scott Ritter, my dear friend, was blacklisted. That's it. Obey or be punished. I mean, can you imagine people going to jail because they don't want to send their kids to school every day? And then you got this clown, Madeline Searin, a spokeswoman for the Attorney General, said, quote, "We're pleased with the court's decision as it recognized the importance of education for Missouri's children." To get brainwashed and to swallow crap. Oh, also teach them at 7 years old, as they do in Jersey over here, not far from us, with that other clown guy running it, Murphy, the governor, that you don't know if you're a boy or a girl at 7 years old. That's the education system. Going back to Scott Ritter. They took him off for hate speech. This guy doesn't speak hate speech. I mean, what's hate speech? If I hate something, I'm not allowed to say it. And Scott Ritter is not like that. He's not. He's very, very polite. I'm only supposed to hate who the government tells me to hate. I can't hate who I want to hate. I can't believe in St. Thomas Aquinas about being angry. That if you're not angry when it's morally just to be angry, you are immoral. Anyway, a lot more coming up in your Trends Journal. This is just some of it. And, you got to watch the YouTube that we put up yesterday with the judge, Celente and the judge. There's an article in today's journal. Authorities to return items seized from Kansas paper. The Marion County attorney, who agreed to withdraw a search warrant and asked that all seized computers and cell phones be returned to a small central Kansas City newspaper after a raid on the outlet's office and the home of its owners last week prompted national outrage from advocates for free speech. Yeah, the guy's mother died because she got so shocked from these clowns going in there. And Judge Napolitano really details what kind of clown show it is. And this is how they get you to obey them. Authorities. Oh, we had the Wall Street elite. Authorities. I can't say what I want to say because I don't want to get blacklisted. How about arrogant pieces of you know what? Thanks for tuning in. Remember, Celente and the Judge. Subscribe to the Trends Journal, and don't forget, get your shirts, and you can express how you feel about the politicians that are running our lives and dumbing us down. Thanks a lot.
At the Trends Journal, the best investment you could make, because it's the best investment into your mind, and it can change how you look at the world.
His work is actually a gold mine. Anybody interested in politics, political trends, economic trends, social trends, cultural trends, you have to follow him. Gerald Celente.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
Been a Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rate to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happened at trendsjournal.com.